Cristobal Soria's latest appearance on the Wild project landed like a flare over a dry match night, brief, bright and impossible to ignore. He didn't talk tactics or transfer rumours this time. He dropped a personal snapshot that quickly spread through the corridors of Spanish football. He says Vinícius Jr. has blocked him everywhere after last year's Ballon d'Or fallout. That blunt admission, a pundit admitting a player has closed every avenue of contact, reads like a symptom rather than a story in itself, and Soria, a figure who has long traded in provocation, seemed to relish the irony even as the remark reopened a wound that runs deeper than a single tweet. To understand why this matters, you have to rewind to the night the Ballon d'Or was handed out in Paris. Vinícius arrived at the top tables of speculation for his role in Real Madrid's domestic and European double, yet when the winner was named, it was Manchester City's Rodri and several in the Madrid orbit, including Vinícius himself and club representatives, elected not to attend. That absence read like a silent protest, a message broadcast by omission, and it changed the tone of the conversation around both player and club. The gala stopped being just an awards night and became the latest chapter in a story about expectations, recognition, and the fragile currency of public honour. Soria's new confession, that the player blocked him, is partly a personal punchline and partly a mirror. It reflects how small media jabs can calcify into genuine enmity. Soria has been no stranger to the mockery of Vinícius, even going as far as nicknaming him the almost Ballon d'Or and staging stunts that leaned into the chant culture fans had developed. Media clips show laughter, theatrical gestures, even a swimsuit gag tied to the beach Ballon d'Or jibe. Those moments meant to provoke ratings or punchlines can, when amplified across social platforms and TV repeats, bleed into real relationships. What started as televised ribbing has, in Soria's telling, turned into mutual avoidance. But the story is not just a petty spat between a pundit and a player. It touches on the architecture of modern football, how entourages, media narratives, and the optics of awards nights shape perceptions inside dressing rooms. When a club of Real Madrid stature chooses not to show up to a global ceremony, reporters and rival clubs read it as a statement. When a leading player is perceived as slighted, emotions inside the squad and among fans can harden. And when outspoken pundits brandish nicknames or stage stunts, the ripple effect reaches beyond laughter. It colours interviews, it frames social media debates, and it sometimes forces clubs into defensive positions they would rather avoid. Soria's comments about Lamine Yamal add an intriguing counterpoint to the Vini episode. On the same podcast, he argued that Barcelona has the professionals and support system to protect young talents like Yamal from the trappings of fame, and he downplayed concerns about a recent birthday party, suggesting occasional release is normal for a young player dedicated to his craft. That more reassuring take, trust the club's structures, let the boy breathe, stands in stark contrast with the sharper, more mocking posture he has taken towards Vinícius. The juxtaposition reveals how pundit judgment can be selective, shaped by past allegiances and the particular narratives that feed into them. So where does that leave us? With questions. Will gestures of public disapproval be smoothed over in training rooms and boardrooms, or will a string of small slights calcify into longer-term fractures? Does a player's decision to block a pundit matter beyond symbolism, or is it a symptom of modern celebrity fatigue, athletes curating their circle to shield focus? And what responsibility do media figures have for stoking narratives that might, with time, affect team harmony? The answers aren't immediate, but the episode is a reminder that in today's game, headlines and friendships, clips and careers are tangled together in ways that often make the off-pitch story as consequential as what happens on the turf. If anything, Sanaita profane, it done one practical thing. It pushed a private annoyance onto the public ledger and forced a conversation about respect, spectacle, and the human fallibility behind superstar status. Whether this will be a footnote or the start of something messier depends on the players involved, the club's response, and how quickly the wider football ecosystem decides to move past a night in Paris that still stings. For now, the debate is public, the players remain iconic, and the questions about pride and protocol are far from settled.